Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Liam Deval. I sell rent social housing deals to investors. I've sold around £500,000 worth of deals in the last 6 months-ish, and I want to teach you how to do the same. Right, so the first deal I ever sold, I still remember it now, must have been 3-4 years ago, something like that. I was still working at the time and I've been out of work 2 years now, so it was a BRL project over in Stoke. I'm based in the Midlands, so it's not too far away. Back then I was sourcing BRL projects through agents, selling them on to investors and managing the refurbishment for them, anything local to me. Yes, it's BRL project over in Stoke. I found the deal through an agent, did all the numbers, checked the comparables, checked the rentals, got builders in to price up the refurb, advertised the project through my mailing list that I built up using social media, Facebook, Instagram and stuff like that. A guy called Mark brought it in the end. Can't remember the price without going into the figures and looking. Actually, I could put it up here. Get Naomi to put it up here as an example back in the day. Yeah, he brought it. Probably a bit of a bad example for selling a deal because it was so laid back. Got him on the phone once, twice, went through the details, did all the numbers, sent him over the comparables and rental comparables, and he brought it. I got the team in, started the refurbishment, he come and viewed it once, and that was it. Job done. To be fair, a lot of my investors tend to be laid back. I don't know if that's perhaps a reflection on myself, because I'm so laid back, that's sort of what you attract. Not sure. They all tend to be pretty laid back, they're just normal people trying to make more money like we all are, basically. So that brings me on to mindset, and that is the biggest thing that you need when talking to investors. So you need to be confident in what you're selling, and you need to be prepared to answer all the questions. Confidence, a big part of the confidence in what you're selling. You don't have to, but I think it's good to have skin in the game. So I personally invest in the deals that I'm selling now, the rent social housing deals. My family invested in them too. So I have 100% confidence that this strategy works. I can talk about it inside out with investors. I've got money in it myself, so that exudes confidence into the investor as well. They know that you've got skin in the game. They're more likely to put money in themselves. Even if you've not got money in it yourself, you can still do all the due diligence. You can look into the deals, look into the properties, look into the numbers, look into the social housing providers in this case, the owners of the business. Do all that due diligence yourself, and you can provide that to the investor, making sure that they've got everything they need to make an informed decision. And that's what it's about. You're not selling the deal as such, you're just information gathering, providing it in one place for the investor to look at easily and accessibly, so they can make a decision on what they can see in front of them. Obviously, most investors, most of mine now, they've got a lot of money, so 100, 200, 300,000 pounds cash, sort of liquid to use. They're looking to put their money into assets to make more money. That can be quite daunting when you're starting out, especially. You're thinking £10,000 a lot of money when it's not in the grand scheme of things. But you need to get that out of your head. You're providing a service, a good service as well, and everyone's the same. So we all go down to the pub and get pissed on a Friday night if wants to be, or go and watch the F1. We're all doing the same, we're all trying to make more money. So you are providing a good service to the investor. You need to remember that, and you need to be confident in what you say. A big part of selling to investors is understanding investors. Understanding the person you're talking to. So it's not about you when you're on the phone, it's about them. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so listen. You need to get them talking about what it is they need, what they're looking for, what their problems at the minute are. Just start talking about life basically, in their portfolio, their current investments. See why they're looking for something different and see why they've come to you. 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you why they want to buy from you, and then in the next part you can use that in your pitch and tell them why you can fix those problems. So you need to get them. So the good leading question is, do you invest in property already? Obviously if you're selling something else, then that's when we need to focus on that. I'm property, so do you invest in property already? Do you have social housing investments already? And that can open up a whole tin of worms about what they do. What is it you're doing at the minute? That's a decent question. They can go into their current businesses. A lot of them own multiple businesses. Find the headaches that they're getting from them. Oh, yeah, that's great. Our social housing providers completely hands off, so you don't need to be bothered. What is it you do at the minute? That's a very good question to ask. They can go off on a tangent about different businesses they own, different investment strategies they're doing, the pros and the cons of them, and you are soaking all this information in, and you can use it down the line in your pitch of how we can fix that headache, how our project can help solve their problem they've got at the minute, or how we can help grow that idea that they've had from another business, and how our project can feed into that. So you need to listen. Like I say, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Get them talking, get listening, and 9 times out of 10 they'll tell you why they want to buy from you. So pitch. Everyone goes on about the pitch. I don't really have a pitch. I suppose I do to some degree, but I don't believe in scripts. Even doing this YouTube video, I've not got a script. I've just got a couple of bullet points I wanted to talk about. So yeah, the pitch, like I said in the last part about understanding the investor, you just need to know what they're after, and you sort of pitch to that. So tailored pitch, I suppose. Find out the headaches. So if the headache is they've got a portfolio of 10 buy-to-lets, and one tenant's trashed the room, another tenant's left without paying and not told anyone, and they've got perhaps a couple of good tenants that pay on time every month, but the boiler's broke down last month and it's cost them 6 months rent. Our social housing projects can help fix them problems because you don't need to worry about the tenants. All the maintenance is covered by the social housing provider. Tenants looked after by the social housing provider. We just look after the property and pay the landlord's rent, and you get a fixed rent every month regardless of what's happening in the property. So that's solved all their headaches on their current portfolio and made them more likely to like ours. So yeah, I don't really have a pitch, just focus on their headaches, focus on their headaches, and then find a way to help them. Even if the current project that you're selling can't help them at the minute, find a way that you can introduce them to someone else that might be able to help them with the problems they're having. So it just builds up rapport, and that's what we're all about. After you've sort of, I say I don't have a pitch, but after you've pitched and answered all the headaches or introduced them to someone else, you need to ask, is there anything else? Is there any other questions? Because while you've been talking, they've had time to think and process what you're saying. Then they can ask a question, and it gives you opportunity to answer that. So after you've done the pitch, they've had time to think and process what you're saying, what they've said. They'll be sat there in the background while you're talking, thinking about everything, processing it, and this is the time to ask them questions. It's just another way of overcoming objections before they turn into objections, basically, while you're still having a chat. So they could say something like, they've just had a tenant move out and not pay the rent, for example. What happens if there's a void period? Then you can go into another little pitch about, don't matter if there's any void periods on our projects. Social housing provider are giving us fixed rental income for the duration of the contract. They're there to look after the tenant, whether the room's empty or not. So asking questions after your pitch, I find, is the best way to go around things. Again, it's sort of asking them, you're answering what they want to hear. You could focus the pitch on one problem, which doesn't interest them, so you're not going to get the sale. But if you ask the question, what else do you want to hear? Have you got any questions? They will tell you the problem. They'll tell you what they're thinking about, so you can direct the pitch straight at that problem, and you're 99% more likely to get the sale. So after the phone call, the follow-up. This is the most important part of the sales process. You're not going to sell this deal in the first phone call 9 times out of 10 anyway. So you've met on social media, they've got no idea between you and Bob Danbury. You've emailed and got a phone call booked in. Phone calls gone great, perfect. So I'll follow up straight away normally, especially if I've got a resource or I'm introducing them to someone else to fix another problem we've discovered in the phone call. I'll send an email straight away after the phone call saying, here's the resources I promised you. Any other questions, you've got my number, please message me on WhatsApp or something along those lines. That normally works. We'll then start on WhatsApp. If I've not heard anything for a couple of days, I will send a message on WhatsApp. I tend not to bother with email just because I don't check them all the time, and a lot of other people don't as well. I check them once a day and it's just not fast enough. So what I'll do is I'll WhatsApp them after a couple of days, just following up after our phone call. If you've got any other questions, queries, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. 9 times out of 10 that works as well. Oh yeah, I was just thinking about this, but they've not obviously reached out to you, they didn't know how or didn't want to pester you, I don't know. So that they can go get your sale. So WhatsApp is a lot better than email, that's my big recommendation. Helping people, just forget about the sale as such, just help. Do anything you can to help build rapport with that investor. Even if you don't get a sale now, if you've introduced them to someone that's fixing their problems, 6 months later they might come into a bit of cash and think, oh, Liam helped me last time, let's go to him and see what he says, see what he's got going on. You've built that rapport, you've proved you're a person of trust and you can get things done. They're more likely to come and invest with you. If you've got any questions after that video, please pop them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Like, share, subscribe, and see you on the next one.